Hello there, Lynx here, and we are playing a game from kalechips. Reapers, goodbye. Also, we did play, I believe, one game from this dev in the past. Now I might mess up the title because I'm not 100% sure about it, but it was something like Midnight on the Night Train? Something like that. It was a pretty decent story as well. We started off with a demo back then and finished it up when the full thing was released as well. Today, though, we are, I believe, playing from the start, a full game. Let's check it out. I like the way to start as well. Like, click the moon. Now that I think about it, the game started actually with a guy standing, sitting on a rock or whatever on the right side, and the moon was in that, well, almost top left corner. You would click it and then you would move to that. It was nice. I like that. Anyway, let's begin. Oh, this guy, exactly. Looks like a detective, to be fair.
The night sky of the countryside is wide, empty, and often soundless. Crickets may sing, but their song gets lost in the open air, soaking into nothingness. There is no hustle and bustle of crowds. There are no blaring car horns, just the winds through the grass, and the labors of your own breath as you tread the unpaved road. It is sad. In such a countryside you may come across a man with a trail of cigarette smoke behind him. His shifty eyes dart across the scene, but pay him no mind. His goals lie elsewhere. A cursed individual can only take company with those of a similar fortune, you see.
Oh. So, sounds like I would be a good fit.
They to exist between worlds mean living tied to nothing. No home, no family, no sense of time.
Okay, never mind what I said. I think I wouldn't actually fit.
A man like that looks perfectly natural, wandering the emptiness of a soundless sky. If you come across such a man, pay him no mind. He will walk, alone, leaving only smoke behind.
I noticed his jeans, I assume this is jeans, are kind of cut. It's like you tried to cut it with scissors, to be honest.
But if you meet such a man and his eyes fix upon you, well, what can you do?
Run?
What can he do?
Catch me.
That's just how the world works. A cursed individual can only take company with those of a similar fortune. It's just the wheels of fate turning. You just got caught in the spokes.
Reapers, goodbye. It was interesting.
The town smells like roasting meat and alcohol.
Maybe.
I have no idea how to read that first line that he said, so I'll go with the next one.
What is price?
To think the gods would lead us to this village just to meet again.
Sitting there enjoying it all is an old acquaintance.
The world works in mysterious ways.
However you read that word. An old fool, a young heart, or just wise beyond his years.
Oh, mon ami. You could give me a more cheerful face. Go ahead, smile for me.
Hard to tell.
You never change, do you? Such depressing company you can be. Perhaps your poor mother fed you nothing but bitters as a child. Ah, so depressing. So depressing I must drink away my sadness.
However you read that stuff. The man turns around with dramatic flourish. He begins walking to the nearest stall. He's been like that for the longest time. The man leads the way, babbling the whole time. This and that, it's always pointless, but he's keen on talking. Finally, he shuts up at a humble food stall where a group of patrons stare idly. There is a bespectacled, professional-looking man. A mature woman minding her own business. Let's get to her. A jovial old man with a well-made suit. And a nervous-looking little girl hiding behind her scarf. Let's avoid her. And those two arrive. Oh boy. Yeah, let's get away. Here is the chap I was speaking of. We can get this night started now. Oh, mon ami, don't be sore. These poor souls missed their last train. I must spend the night without entertainment. Oh. Oh. This looks, I mean, maybe I'm incorrect, but look, this looks a little bit similar to that other game. Could he be like a person deciding if the soul goes into the train or not? Something like that? That would be absolutely interesting, you know? That little connection. Despite different characters. Anyway. And maybe a different train, because, well, in that other game you had no memories, sort of. In here, maybe the souls would have memories? That would be cool. You know, seeing the option, okay, so here it is. Here is the view of how it might look if you don't forget your life. And with the other you see how it would if you... Why am I trying to make this into something? I should stop theorizing. Let's not make it. Let's just find out. It won't do. Let us trade stories until fate calls upon us. I personally find this so immature. Don't be such a sticky debut. I can't think of a better way to spend the night. Well, I can think of a better way. Oh, I bet you can. See what magnific company we have. Probably someone else saying it. See what magnific company we have. And so the wheels of fate were turning. Or rather, they had already reached their destination. This was more or less unknown to the 6 strangers at the stall who waited the train that would take them far, far away from here. The story of the lost souls and their startling tales begins now. Five stops until dawn. Oh, I can talk with them. Can I save the game? Yes. Oh, this is Ren'Py. Nice. Seems like I can't click this guy. I mean, seems like this must be us then. I'm gonna eat everything. I'm eating everything. Nothing left for you guys. Okay. Let's start with the lady. Yeah. So, you want a story from me, huh? Well, I got my fair share of stories, but scary ones aren't exactly my forte. Also, my back is killing me today. I know, I must have slept incorrectly. Ugh. I'm old. It's retirement time. Mostly, I've just got tales of a heartbreak. Well, maybe there is one. She takes a slow sip and sighs like... Ha! How do you even start these things? Whatever. It doesn't matter how I tell it. I mean, it's not the case in here, but you know, some devs should not take those words into heart. It actually matters how you write your visual novels. Or games in general. In here, I love it already. I love it from the start. It's noir style? Yes. We need more noir games. What's done is done alright. So it doesn't matter what I say. How was it? Beloved Jewel Spider. Once there was a woman and her daughter. They loved each other very much. The woman brushed her daughter's hair every night and sang gentle songs to calm her. The time they spent together was truly the most happy time they had in either of their lives. Do you love me? Of course, Mama! How much do you love me? More than anything! You're such a good girl. Mama will give you a present, see? The woman gave her daughter a strange little box. It was thick and heavy, with a large clasp in the front. If you're in trouble, ever in trouble, just open the box. Mama will come and help you. But Mama, I can just ask you if I'm in trouble. Of course, but one day. The woman continued to sing. Her gentle voice soothed the little girl, so the yelling from the next room almost completely disappeared. I totally switched the narration voice, but that's fine. When it was time to sleep, the girl snugly closed so that she could only smell her mother's sweet perfume, instead of the stink of alcohol that permeated the air. Oh boy. She drifted off to sleep in her mother's arms, forgetting about the cramped room where they lived. La-dee-da. Ah, it's raining. One day the little girl came home from school. Mom, I'm home! She scrambled up the steps and pulled open the door. And inside she saw... Papa, what did you do? The time the woman and her daughter spent together was truly the happiest time in either of their short lives. Oh boy. With the box hugged to her chest, the girl knew those days of love were never coming back. Mama! The girl became a woman, and that woman became cold. She lived in an apartment where the scent of alcohol permeated the air with a man who wasn't her husband. They got along fine unless they didn't. The man borrowed her money and the woman borrowed his time.
Hey, do you have a little extra cash you could spot me?
I gave you all I had last week.
Tch, useless. You can't even let your maid to spending money. What kind of woman are you?
What kind of man are you? Well, oh, okay. Same words.
Well, what kind of man are you, huh? You can't even keep a job.
Oh, shut up, useless. Why don't you go out and try working too, huh? You'll come back until you've got something to show for yourself.
So that was the exchange. Just leave him. And when returning to the cramped little hall, the woman could see that hideous man collapse and asleep with a glass tipped over next to him. When he woke up, she knew he would be angry, that he would blame it on her, and she would be tossed into the night again. Wow, what a piece of shit he is. Drifting off to sleep, she couldn't help but mourn her mother. She was the only one who ever loved her. And she was the only one she could love. The rest of this world is just too dirty. The woman kept the box after all those years. She hadn't opened it yet. There was no point, but for some reason there was a sound from the box. Like... Could you hear? Something was alive in there. It was trying to get out. The woman turned over and tried to go back to sleep. There was a comfort there. The scratching was almost like a lullaby, and as her eyes closed, she could almost feel her mother's arms around her. Another day of dirtiness. Another day of pounding rain. How irritating. The woman went home as usual. The man stunk more than ever and yelled as soon as she opened the door.
That breath. I hate it.
It's not enough! Aren't you trying? Useless! You're doing just to spite me, aren't you? What did I ever do to you?
I don't know, you were a piece of shit, clearly.
It's not my fault you gamble everything. You spend it faster than I can make it.
You don't understand how hard it is for me. Can't I try to relax every once in a while? The economy isn't so great, so don't expect to treat you like the Queen of Sheba. I'm asking you to help out, so help out!
Dude, you're literally doing nothing.
Come on, Sweary, what's so funny, huh? Is this funny to you?
Your breath.
Quit joking around!
I assume she might have had the same end as her mother. The man froze. The box in the corner was shaking. Or maybe not. Maybe not.
What's that?
Oh, now there are scratching in the game. Wait, is the sound in here like quiet? Oh my god, let's max it out. Why wasn't it maxed out? That's so weird. Usually when you start a Ren'Py game, it's like always maxed out. Anyway.
Oi, what the hell is that?
The box was shaking more and more. The man's grip tense from nervousness.
My mother is in that box.
Quit joking around.
My mother was killed by my father. Do you know that? She was killed by him. And now she's in that box. She's looking after me even now.
You're lying.
She gave me that box before she died. She said if I was in trouble I should open it.
What's in it then?
I told you already.
His grip loosened slowly. The air from the room had been sucked out and replaced with only the sound of light scratching. The man and woman lay down and closed their eyes, but neither of them went to sleep that night. Once again, the woman was forced to go out and look for work. She brushed her hair up like her makeup as the man smoked a cigarette, his eyes stuck on the box.
You said when you're in trouble you should open the box, right?
That's what my mother told me.
Well, we've been in some trouble with money, alright?
Don't you touch that box.
Huh? What did you just say to me? I'm just saying we've been in some money trouble is all. Sorry. Whoops.
I've been managing just fine.
Maybe there's some kind of jewel in there, something we can sell for good money.
I said don't touch it.
Come on, don't you wanna see how much your mother's love is worth?
The woman left work with a loud and bitter laugh. That's not how you assess the worth of love. Another day of dirtiness, another day of pounding rain. The street lights flickered on the water droplets, catching the light and blurring the buildings together. The woman trudged home after a long day of work. The scent of cigarettes, beer, and Sweat soaked her through. She suddenly thought of her mother's perfume, and through the rain she thought she could hear a familiar tune. She ran as fast as her legs could take her. She scrambled up the stairs to her apartment and pressed her face against the door. The song could be heard inside. Behind the door, which held so many stains and fights and bruises, was an ocean of happy memories. In a world so dirty and cruel, how could you bring back those days of love? I'm not sure if I can click or not. I will click right now. It's easy. You just have to open the box. There it was. A spider that shone like a jewels, dangling from the ceiling. A sweet scent hung in the air as a beautiful melody rang out. On the ground, the box lay open and empty. Please, please. Such a miracle could only make her laugh.
Oh, come on, baby, now do you see how much mother's love is worth? And there you have it. They lived happily ever after. That's how all good stories end, right? Oh, you look upset. Were you expecting something different? Or maybe the ending doesn't sound that happy to you? Well, it doesn't matter either way. The little girl in the story wasn't me, so don't go dreaming.
Once again, she acts elusive. Maybe she was the mother.
It's just a little tale I learned of the streets.
But perhaps that's just an unchangeable fact.
Reaper's goodbye.
Can I approach her again? I guess not. Alright, let's go to the girl hiding behind a scarf. Let's see what she has to tell. Oh, I can't? She's not clicking. That's it. Yeah, you need to eat. Get some strength to listen to the next story. Alright, the guy with cigarette. Let's see.
A story from me? Ha! I never thought you'd ask me. Mon ami. The only thing I love more than hearing a story is telling one.
Peter laughs and takes a long drag of the cigarette.
Oh, what to do? What to do? Yes, this is it. Now lean in. A little closer.
Guardian Angel.
Before I was established in my profession, I was a pitifully penniless youth traveling the country with little else than the clothes on my back. Not even proper threads, mind you. All shabby out of the season hand-me-downs. It depresses me just to remember it. Quel horror, or however you read that. Anyhow, you can see how unfortunate I was at the time. There were nights where I would have no coin for shelter and I lick potato starch just to quell my hunger. I'd managed to scrounge up enough to move to the city in hopes that I could find more opportunities there. I rented a small apartment on the lower end. It was a cramped dark space hardly bigger than a closet, with a single flickering bulb strung from the ceiling. My bed was a bare mattress held up by a rickety iron frame. I tried not to make much movement lest I be awoken by rusty creaking. Something peculiar happened the day I settled into my apartment. I was staring up at the ceiling, willing myself to slumber, when I felt something at the side of my face. It was like an intense heat. When humans are in such darkness, their senses heighten so that even the slightest rise in temperature can be felt.
Yeah, he's right about that. He's absolutely right about that one.
So, in the darkness, I felt I was not alone. I shut upright and pulled at the bulb switch. I nearly yanked it off completely in panic. I searched my cramped room but found nothing molten mouse holes. How depressing. Of course I could not possibly sleep after such a feeling, so I headed out of the accursed room for some fresh air.
Oi, youngin, I'd be lucky to meet me at a time like this.
Sitting on the street was a bedraggled old beggar. Her face was shrouded by stained cloth and her fingers played across the empty air. Something you should know about my profession is that you meet a great many kinds of people. Each person has their own unique path to take, and intersections like these are akin to miracles. You may walk through life lonely and singular, or you may have a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So even in my mature status I understood this to be valuable. I wordlessly shuffled closer to the woman.
Aye, that seemed to be wise as well as lucky. Many young and walk past and pay with their lives. Wise and lucky ought to stay lives, I tell you this. Buy this for me for a cuppa, place it at your bedside, and sleep will come nice and easy.
In her outstretched hand, she produced a small communion cracker. Believer I was the secrets of the universe, but even I had to raise an eyebrow. Besides that, I had little money to spare. In order to make rent, I have to cut down to a single meal a day. Oh.
Why so lucky but still doubtful? But this for me, and ya will send in time. Everyone on this earth is blessed with a guardian angel. When you lay down to sleep tonight, see how the angel watches over your soul.
Was she insane? Or speaking the truth? Either way, she was looking out for my health. I threw her a coin and made my way up the steps. I placed the cracker on the thin strip of floor between the bed and door frame, lamenting my light and pockets. What in the world? There is more of them. I learned to fall asleep and survive on little more than crumbs. At the end of the week, the beggar woman would appear on the street corner to sell me another blessing. Parting with coin always hurt, but the plane was lessened as my leg began to fly. Somehow a business was taking off. It seemed that the winds of the city and the wishes of my heart had finally aligned. Magnifique! But all was not so rosy during these days, blooming, careful days. I must tell you of in general terms an old friend who was likewise young man with little to call his own. It was in the profession and had much to say about it. So much to say that our entire walk home was consumed with his contemplation. The same evening he told me of his new residence. The beggar lady came for our usual exchange.
You're living here, huh?
I sure am. I mean, where else could I go in this dump of a city? I found the room last week. Man, does it make me miss home.
Youngin, before you go off to bed, buy this for a cuppa.
Huh?
Cuppa? Miss, I'm not gonna buy that little thing from you when I can buy myself a little drink. Please, youngin, I will regret it if you...
Listen to this, she's completely off her rocker. That foolish friend of mine laughed loudly at the woman and spun on his heel. In this place I exchanged a coin for the communion cracker, but her face looked like she was mourning.
It's not too late. Tice? God, you're too degenerous. You need to learn how to say no to street people. We're hardly getting by ourselves.
She might have a point, just consider it bliss.
Just go to sleep already.
And so just as paths intersect, they part. That night, dear listeners, I heard something I can never forget. I was laying in my bed. Was that my angel staring back at me? The creak of beds from somewhere in the complex. Hey, who the... What the hell? Hey. The following day, I learned that my friend hasn't shown up for work or so much as sent a word. Sometime later, I saw the landlord grounding around the complex, banging on a certain door with no answer. He seemingly disappeared clean off the face of the earth. How peculiar. But my mind wandered from it as soon as I received a letter saying I'd be accepted to her position with much better accommodations. Plans were made, suitcases were packed, and Lord knows how I paid communion until the very last day. So that's this gentleman's tale of how I lived in my early years. In spiteful ties, or whatever you read it as. I wasn't always so refined. Ah, mon ami, I know how cruel that sounds, but the time we begin to see into people's hearts, we begin to understand who will make it and who will depart. Such is the way of our chosen path. The old fool smiles gently at the memory. Although it gets lonely watching over everyone's paths, doesn't it? Says la vie, or however you read that. The other patrons look unnerved by his tale. Oh, what am I doing telling you this? Your eye sister tells me all I need. You're just about frozen over. Hehehehe. But to him it's just a nostalgic conversation. Reapers, goodbye. Nom 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 nom. That story made me hungry again. Okay, 2 characters done. Free to go. Can I talk? I still can't talk with you. I wonder why. Are you locked for the end or something like that? Right, I mean, we kind of completed the upper row. 2 of the 3, so let's do that. Let's do the last guy. He was in a mafia. I'm just kidding. Or maybe I'm not. Who knows? We'll find out. You've got a good...
You've got a good eye, kid. I've got a plenty of old spooks left in me.
The old man is more relaxed than anyone else here.
When you live a life like mine, you're gonna get a few spooks.
Maybe all of this is a game to him too.
Plenty of sore times and things you can talk about in front of children. But besides that, I do got a good story to tell. It was back in the day when I wasn't so damn wrinkled.
The Sand Casket.
It's not the kind of business you can talk about. Not then or now, but it...
Dude, it's definitely mafia. I was so correct from the get-go, it's crazy.
It's not the kind of business you can talk about, not then or now, but it brought in money and works to that real man's work. I had big dreams and the boss said I had promise. I was naive, but still rough around the edges. It was a different time, alright? You could say I was a garbage man. I took out the trash when everyone was asleep.
You know what this, like, a little bit of a line reminds me of? If you watched Grisaya, or I guess if you played Grisaya, I have not played Grisaya, dude, we need to play Grisaya eventually as well. I mean, I have some of them, I think, but I don't think all of the... Okay, I have Leisure of Grisaya. And I do believe I have Machiru. I don't? I totally thought I had it. Magical? Oh, it's Michiru, not Machiru. Okay, I have. Idol Magical Girl. Michiru. I have both parts. We really should play Grisaya eventually. Now that I think about it, those games are constantly getting on discounts, so maybe. I mean, at some point for sure. Anyway,
you could say I was a garbage man. I took out the trash when everyone was asleep. Nice and easy down the beach with a cliffside.
Yo.
It is light like a wooden leaf. I'd finished the up and staring out into the sea, taking in the scents. Now that I think of it, it's dang crazy that I never got caught. You shouldn't hang around the places you do business. Alright, I was caught, but it wasn't in an ordinary way. Even in my golden years, I can't forget what I found in the sand. I'd finished my business and was taking the moonshine, but I could have sworn there was a silhouette on the shore. Obviously, that's gonna set off some red alarms. This place was pretty out of the way, so I reached for the piece and dared to look closer. Chasing the waves was some little kid. Big, droppy eyes and a carefree smile. What the hell was kid doing all the way out of here? Hey you! Come over here! Like a good kid, he tottered over. You could tell he was raised well. Youngins with manners like that normally come from good families. Hiya, little guy. So tell me, where's your mom? What? No response. You could tell by his threats that he wasn't caring for money or anything. He looked way too young to be some troubled runaway. He was pretty content for a lost baby. I could send him off to the police, but for certain reasons, I just didn't feel like visiting those guys.
I wonder what reasons, right?
You like candy, don't ya? Yep, that's it. It was dangerous to have anybody running around during my job, but since he was just a little kid, I figured that he wouldn't be any trouble. My older self would never make such a stupid mistake. That's the kind of thinking that gets you 6 feet under. It accidentally became a ritual of mine to finish the work and then sit and watch the ocean with the mystery child. What an odd pair we must be. A rowdy no good, like me and some upper class headers stuffing our faces with sweets. I decided not to think too hard about where he came from. I'd given up my own past long ago. One night. That hell of a night. What? I don't understand why it caught me off guard, but the mystery kid had such a damn sad look on his face. All I could think of was driftwood floating on the sea, or a hairy little bird. I don't think I'd seen anything sadder in my life. Hey, little guy, you hungry? I got extra sweets tonight. But the kid just kept staring out over the waves, sad as hell. Come tell me what's the matter with you. Do you miss your mom or something? Let me help you out. What's the face for her? I let the kid lead me across the shore. Still had my goods on me, for Christ's sakes. He ran with all the determination he could muster. We reached a far part of the beach, right under the cliffside. He stood and pointed at the ground, looking at me with those droopy eyes. Alright. My first thought was this kid lost his toy or something. He was playing at the beach and he buried it and forgot about it at all. I did it all the time myself as a kid, so naturally I pulled out my shovel and got to digging. There is nothing here, I'm telling ya. Same response. I began to wonder if this kid was playing tricks on me or what, but something grabbed onto my mind. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but sometimes in this line of business you sense things a little better than most people. At that point it's up to your own personal brains to decide whether or not you keep going.
In before this guy is digging his own grave now.
You see, I was young and very stupid, so you know how it went already. I shoveled more and more sand until it became dark and dense. All the while the kid was looking at me with watery eyes. My shovel wet something at last. In the dense earth I spotted a little fleck of white. Deeper, I had to go deeper. Curled up like a cicada shadow was a pair of skeletons. A large one with torn dress and pearls. And a smaller one that...
That was the kid, wasn't it?
Thank you, mister!
So that's about it. Instead of horror on his face. Times were very different back then. But the times treated me well, for the most part. But I get a few odd things here and there. Hehehehe.
There is a look of warm nostalgia.
Never did get to learn his name or how it happened. No use wondering now, no use wondering then. People disappear every day without a trace, but the world keeps turning. Frankly, I'm happy that I live in a world where things keep turning.
This was a neat. This was cool. I like that story. To be fair, I really like the lady's story as well. Alright, let's eat. Because that got me a bit hungry. I will drink some tea as well. I bet the girl still wants to talk with us, so let's go to the mustache boy, mustache guy.
Ghost stories? Oh, well, no, I haven't really. You don't get to talk about the occultish stuff in my line of work since it's very scientific. I'm very factual, I see, but perhaps.
The man nervously looks from side to side.
Yes, well, just for tonight. Since you insist, there was this one time back in my school days.
Tunnel visions.
It was my college years when I found myself stuck in the rain between trains. I studied late and neglected to keep track of time. Indeed, the trains went on without me. I ended up beneath a strip lamp with my umbrella doing little for the intensity of the weather. Looking out, I could hardly see anything except for the shine of wet gravel in the fog. Oi! Are you lost? A voice rang out into the night. I couldn't tell if they were beside me or not. They sounded like a man about my age. I still couldn't see them. Follow the tracks. If you go through the tunnel, you won't have to bother with the train. But the train... These tracks have been abandoned for years. Come on, let's go! Indeed, there were tracks in front of me. I followed them and came to the mouth of a tunnel where a figure stood. Strangely, I couldn't catch his face. The mix of fog and rain and darkness made it hard to see. I could tell he was a student, and my nerves began to settle. I let down my umbrella and we entered the tunnel together. He began to ask questions about me. The tunnel was even darker than the outside, obviously. But thanks to our conversation, I felt completely at home. I explained the courses I was taking and the dorm I was at, the exam I was studying for, and my expectations for the future. I'm going to become a physician.
You sound so sure of yourself, he said.
It's only a matter of time. The courses aren't so difficult if you study them properly. Anyone who says otherwise is making excuses. Naturally, not everyone can make it. But that's just how it is. If everyone could achieve their dreams, the world might as well collapse.
Would be nice for to actually be able to achieve the dreams.
That's very much like you. I was confused by this statement, and my nerves were on end once again. Did I know this chap after all? I studied his face in vain. The darkness was too much. He was slightly taller than me. Maybe he was somebody I'd met on the campus. I tried to think of a way to catch his face. Say, do you have a light? It's a little...
Good, give me a moment.
He lit a match from his pocket. The bottom half of his face was illuminated, but I still couldn't think of anything. Despite being taller, he had an odd yaw about him. How to say it? Well, normally at that age, a man begins to grow hair on their chin. Even when one shaves himself, there will still be little pokes where the hair will grow.
True. It should be that. Totally attacking people who can't have basically birds. It should be like that, yeah. I'm a top dude. I started having facial hair in junior high school already. So I was like 14. And from then onwards, I mean, because I was shaving, like, let's say religiously, sort of, until maybe the start of second semester at university. But I had to do this every single day, basically. Yeah. And then I just kind of stopped. When again, I say I stopped, but I absolutely hate mustache. Having a mustache, so I actually shaved a mustache. Every single day. As for parents, I kinda enjoy it. Anyway. Even when one shaves himself, there will still be a little box where the hair will grow. I know I read that line already.
No, for him it was completely smooth. There was a roundness to his jaw that made me think of prebuscent. I was thinking too much of it, so he caught me in the act.
Something on my face?
No, Quickly, I thought of something. I just don't recognize the uniform. I suppose we won't be seeing each other at school.
No, I suppose not.
In the distance, I heard the blaring of a train. These tracks aren't used anymore, remember?
Of course.
We would walk along them all the time back then. We did? Well, nobody was too scared, but you would push me along. I'd push back and eventually we would end up walking the tracks. We'd walk to school like that all the time.
Paolo.
Yes, it was Paolo, a friend from years ago. We'd stand together and walked along the train tracks just as he'd said. I still couldn't see much of his face, but his voice still carried the same measured timbre as it had years ago. I was tempted to let out a laugh, but stopped before the empty tunnel would catch my voice. I suddenly became wary of the space around me as Paolo patted my shoulder in a friendly manner.
Took you long enough. Was beginning to think you'd forgotten all about me.
Well, I've just been busy with school. My mind is a little tired.
Of course, school, I see.
What was that? We had studied together for some time with the goal of going to the same university. We thought it was extremely hard, so we put our all into it. But Paolo just smiled at me. Of course, hard work is important, but there is also the matter of natural ability.
Sadly true.
Some people are just built with better aptitudes than others. It's by the grace of God these things come to be. Truly, it's out of our hands.
Sadly true.
Paola, I heard the train.
Must be in your imagination.
How far is the exit? It is out of our power how we were born, so it was naturally out of my power when I was selected for university. My friend was left to the wayside. He said he would just try again and be my underclassman, but...
Probably why, what, you don't trust an old body?
Paul tried again and again. He entered countless essays and repeated this over and over, but he somehow was unable to pass. By the grace of the gods, he simply couldn't. I fell out of contact because I naturally became so busy.
There, it's at the tunnel's mouth. It's going to hit us.
Please understand, I hardly had time to even eat. It was cutthroat. Our futures were just going in different directions, and some to better places than the others.
You're working too hard. It's barely a pounding train. Rain, not train, rain.
No, up there, a light. It's coming. Ah! I turned to run the other direction with a small hope I wouldn't be dashed to bits, but a hand clamped on my shoulder so hard I nearly flung back. And so biting cold, I could feel it through my coat and my bones.
Where are you going? Aren't we going to walk through this place? Together, as friends.
I remember this coldness. On a day with biting rain, I heard the news. After failing the entrance exam once more, my old friend Paolo wandered up onto a bridge far after midnight and flew over the railing just as the train passed. Wow. The rumbling was getting closer. The light was creating a burning halo around him. The sound was piercing me. The light was piercing me.
You know what? Doing this, I mean, again, this is a very serious topic, right? But doing it this way is kind of a terrible thing to do. Because, I mean, I bet that, you know, by going under the train, you might also have very bad influence on the person who is at the steer of the train, right? So the conductor, basically. And, you know, it might have very bad influence onto their psyche and so on. It kinda sucks. I mean, again, it's a tough topic to talk about, so I don't really want to get into it too much. The best way would be to not end yourself, right? Obviously. But, like, ending self while also possibly messing someone else's life, yeah, that's kind of terrible. That's actually not kinda, that's basically terrible. Cause you never know. I mean, that person, sure, with a train, it would be hard to stop in time and so on, obviously, especially if it's an unexpected thing to happen, obviously. But it might still influence the person. Yeah, it kinda sucks. No, it doesn't kinda suck, it just sucks. Anyway, yeah. I don't have the mind right now, kind of, as well, to maybe touch the subject too much. Let's just continue with the story and see what's gonna happen next.
The rumbling was getting closer. The light was creating a burning halo around him. The sound was piercing me. The light was piercing me. The other end of the tunnel was just too far away. Was I going to die? At last I could see his face, young and just as piercing as the light behind him. You were good at running ahead. The path always seemed to open just for you. Me for I could hardly get my foot in the door. Why? Why is it you? Why can't you do it? And I can't. Why is it you? The light was burning me. In that moment I was sure I'd die, that everything I'd worked for until now would be smashed to bits, but then the match, which was burning down to his fingertips, split into and vanished into darkness. Paul and the train disappeared at once. I was left alone in the dark of the tunnel, with nothing but silence and the vague glint of the train tracks, which had been abandoned long ago. And so that's the end of the story. As I said before, I'm not into the occult. Surely there is a scientific explanation for it. Perhaps I came off a bit cruel in my retelling. I can understand how someone uneducated might see it as such. He gives the result half. He is convinced himself of something. Academia is an extremely cutthroat business. If you're unable to keep up, then it's your own fault. Nobody argues with him. Back to drinking once again. Can I have a look at this one? Wait. Maybe. Oh, num 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 num. That story of his made me hungry. He's sweating. Alright, little lady. No. Tell me your story. The little girl who up until now was staring at the ground. Fanny looks up with steadfast eyes.
I I have a story. She opens her mouth to speak. Her voice trembles slightly. Before I got here, before you all were here too. The tired eyes of the other patrons turn to her. Before I got on the train. There is an unspoken fear in the air. Back at home. 5 passengers. What? What are you whining about now? There were funny things in Mama's house. A kid was looking out from the closet and walls, but Mama never believed me. The other one played lots of jokes on Mama, and Mama didn't like them. You nasty child! What do you hate me? Huh? What did I ever do to you? Disgusting! Get away from me! I mean, maybe saying stuff like that would make the child hate you, yes? I asked the other one why they kept hurting Mama. Or more like, I asked the other why they kept hurting Mama. All they would do was laugh at me. Their face got all lump up, turny, and they laughed and laughed and laughed. What are you drawing? What are you doing? Are you trying to play tricks on me again? Why? Why can't I have a normal child? Mama, I'm a normal child, but there is a bad child there tricking you. Mama, please believe me. Whoa, broken glass? Somebody was playing at night. There was a big crack on the floor. Looks like a mirror. No, plate. No. Mama's mirror. Okay, it was a mirror. Damn it, I was actually correct with my first thought, but then I switched to plate. Mama's mirror was smashed on the ground. Why? Why are you always mean to me? I hate you! I tried to put the mirror back together, but there were too many pieces. The other one laughed at me over and over. Everything was broken. No matter what I do, things break. I'm a normal child, so why was it there too? That night I decided to run away. Everyone will be happy if I'm gone. Mama won't have to cry anymore. I've never run away from house, to be fair. I ran to the station where all the trains were. When no one was looking, I jumped on board and sat down. I want to go far, far away, to a place where no one would know me. I knew one person who ran away from house. It was when I was still playing football. He was in a football club as well with me. Way shorter for. Not gonna lie, I didn't like the guy overall. But yeah, I mean, he was like overreacting with everything, and well, I guess at the same time, I mean, I'm not even surprised he would run away or do something stupid like that. Anywho, I had to go far, far away to a place where no one would know me. The train was cold and loud. The light flickered a lot. It was empty and lonely, except for 5 other passengers. On board, there was a pretty lady looking sadly out the window. A man with little glasses grumbling a lot. A fancy man with a little moustache humming to himself. And a nice grandpa who gave me candy. Huh. Sweet! I wonder if in my new home I can get candy like this too. Will I meet somebody as nice as Grandpa? That would be nice. Eating the candy, I counted the passengers in the car. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh? What? I thought I saw 5 passengers. The 5th one was... No, not again. You can't be here. Get away right now. The train began. So shake back and forth. Probably 2. Everyone started yelling. Everything began to rumble and I fell off my seat. The world turned in circles over and over and over.
Whoa.
I was trying to be a good child. I never played any drinks on anyone. I never complained about my bedtime. I never talked back. So why did this happen? I was trying to be a good child. I never played any tricks on anyone. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, Mama. And that's what happened.
Her voice pattered softly. The eyes locked on her now look desperately to each other. Nervously, the doctor speaks up.
She's quite a creative little girl, isn't she?
Ah, monsieur, you've got goosebumps.
The doctor scrambles for his words.
It's just
The chilly air, alright, it's pretty late. Hey, what are you laughing at?
The old man simply grins and muses softly.
Oh yeah, Vier is pretty chilly tonight. I've already decided long ago that I wouldn't regret anything. And when my position doesn't get to be PTSD, sushis like this don't bother me a bit.
truthful words, monsieur. Very few men in this day and age understand the nature of
Chills.
The two older men laugh together as the doctor looks on in horror.
You're all crazy, all of you. I need to go out here right this instant. Where is my trainer?
And by pure coincidence, he's cut off by a mighty train horn. Of the faithful souls sit in utter silence. Despite the differences, there is an instant understanding between them. The time stops for no one, and the train won't wait forever.
there is your way out, big man. Don't wanna miss it.
The lady takes a languid sip and eyes the panicked doctor. Slowly, the bespectacled man leaves his seat and walks in direction of the horn. And after a little while, the lady follows after him. Even now, her expression hasn't changed. The old man finishes his drink and smiles warmly. He extends a wrinkled hand to the little girl.
Don't wanna be late, little lady.
Miraculously, the girl accepts. Why miraculously? The two walk hand in hand until their figures are overtaken by dark. You know what? I wouldn't be actually surprised if... I mean, this is surely afterlife and so on, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if his story actually connected with hers back then. Sort of. She might have... I know, he said it was a boy, so no, it doesn't make sense what I'm thinking right now. But you know what? It would be nice kind of twist to the story if it would turn out that that little girl was the one he found on that beach, and so on. Anyway.
Ah, how heartwarming. What a perfect way to end the story.
Oh, but what am I saying? The night isn't over, nearly over yet. Oh, please, mon ami, can't you indulge in this temporary bliss? I know what we must do, but there is no use in us complaining. As painful straying from the path, we must assist Madame Fortune's grand plan. But oh, how magnifique it would be if things had turned out differently. Maybe I'd become an actor on the silver screen. How my features would shine.
Would they? Am I supposed to click something now? Oh! Oh! That's not... Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, after being in the game for over an hour, I found out this. If you go with the mouse cursor onto the candle, you get this stuff. Okay, I love that. I have not known that. I love it. I love this. The Graf Wanderer speaks for the first time that night.
I know what I'd be.
In contrast to his intimidating appearance.
I know where I'd be.
My mind goes blank when I think of anything else.
His voice come out as fragile as a child's.
Maybe this was all I was meant to do. Still much to do.
Wait, there was something still. Check them out. Oh, the hand, okay. So the other one was like, I'm out.
It is said in such a countryside you may come across a man with a trail of cigarette smoke behind him. He speaks little and keeps to himself unless the powers that befores his hand. These people who wander without home or fortune carry a painful duty upon their shoulders, and the lost soul they found in their journey must be cut down without mercy. A life of endless beatings and partings. That is the curse of a reaper.
That's kinda true. One down. 2 down.
Right on time. The last of them have been delivered. Well, almost. You already know, don't you? I too was on the train. Fun, isn't it? Even if we're separate from the rest of humanity, we can bleed like any average man. I'd do it myself, but it seems that my own power is ineffective against myself, so the duty of deliverance falls on a dear friend. Think of this way. If you give me this phantasmal form, I'll eventually unbecome myself. Each part of me will chip away in the wind until nothing remains. So don't be sad. Being a reaper really is a wonderful thing. We can meet again. And we can trade stories and eat well. Just as we have tonight.
Alone on the edge of the town is the countryside. A reaper stands with white knuckles around the handle of a well-kept sickle. The spirits of the town push in and out of a train going somewhere far beyond. He knows one day he will be cut down just as his friend was. He will exit this world as alone as he lived it. Huh? You're not dead? We'll inevitably meet tragedy in our lives. Some will meet more than others, but it is said that the more dire the path, the more brilliant the miracles. A sum of wealth landing into your pockets. A brush with danger that leaves you untouched. Or perhaps it's something as simple as two lonely souls crossing paths. Interesting. So will she become a reaper eventually? Maybe. She might be. Who knows? Who knows? Thank you and safe travels. Oh, it's changed now. So as I said in the very beginning, you know, this was the starting screen for the game, and you click the moon and so on. The girl was not there. I like that. I really like when it's done in VNs, when they kind of... Not kind of... What do I have with kind of today? I like it when the devs do like the starting screen being one way and then the ending screen, once you are like done with the game, basically changing, even if in a little manner. Like right here, I like that. The fact that, you know, the little girl survived, or more like her soul survived, and boom, she's right here with the guy on the starting screen now. That's pretty freaking nice. Dude, all those stories were very interesting, not gonna lie. Oh, thank you. There is a screenshot of all of them, like, in one place. Also, I like the fact that, you know, our character was animated in that screen with 6 faces. You clicked him and he was eating. That's a really nice small addition as well. But, well, much appreciated, to be honest. Other characters were also doing something until they told the stories, right? That was nice. Okay, so we know the guy that kinda looked shady and was speaking French. The language that not a single European country appreciates, except France, obviously. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Well, I guess he was a Reaper as well. I assume... Not really assume, but... Well, he was a Reaper, that's for sure. I guess his story was interesting, in case... Well, it was pretty much as living in a haunted apartment complex, to be fair, given that the other guy was there. He didn't get the... Was it the cracker, I think, from the old shady lady? And, well, met his end. Well, this guy continuously would buy it, and he survived thanks to that. Then again, we don't know. Maybe the old shady lady was saying that because she was the reason why that complex was actually kind of haunted. Who knows? The lady in the middle, absolutely interesting story. I guess she was in a really, like, poor family, raised in a poor family. And she was not able to escape, and basically she had almost the repeat of her story for herself as it was for her mother. But, well, I guess things kind of... Things kind of ended up, in life at least, better than worse. Sort of. At least she didn't end up like her mother, right? The old guy, the mafioso, well, his story was kinda cool. Why did I say kinda? It was! Yeah, I like that story a lot, to be honest. And it's funny that I totally did so through him from the very beginning. Like, I was saying, dude, he was a mafioso, wasn't he? He was in mafia. Yes, he was. The garbage cleaner. Also, by the way, I love the fact that you included his story in by explaining it this way. I really like that. And also, well, a little bit of a connection to Grisaya, because it was explained like that as well. Even though he was not obviously the main character in Mafia, he was working for, like, well, he was in army, he was working for government, sort of. Yeah. Anywho. The doctor... Well, his story was basically... I would say his story was basically telling... I mean, to be fair, most of those stories were like that. His and the lady's stories the most, probably. Telling... Actually, no. The French guy also. The stories were pretty much, to me at least, to my understanding, pretty much telling how... Well, if you don't luck out in life, you basically might have not the easiest of life. Somewhat in that design. Except, you know, if the other characters seem to be unlucky, our doctor seems to be the one that was actually lucky and could make it in life, right? We know the French guy struggled a lot. We know the lady lived poor when she was a child. Later also lived poor when she grew up, sadly enough. And then we have the little girl who I mean, you know what? She seems to be haunted as well. And somehow those ghosts or whatever it was that was exactly haunting her would basically mess up with her life a lot. Overall, you know, misfortune in life, something like that. Sometimes it's a tough thing to run away from it, that is true. Funnily enough, maybe not funnily enough, but I guess that's the figure of speech here. Funnily enough, it kind of hits close right now for me, so I'm kinda, why did I say kinda again? What is wrong with me? Every single time today I'm saying kinda. But yes, I'm sort of... I was about to say it again. I mean, past 1 or maybe even 2 months, I'm basically followed by strikes of bad luck with a lot of stuff. Hopefully I can get out of that hole. Anywho, I'm linking the game description. It's again a name your own price, so go ahead and support kalechips and her works. There are, by the way, 4 more games from her on each Natia, or from him, I'm not sure. Oh, kalechips says guy. Okay, Ren'Py guy. So there are 5 more games from him on each Natia. I believe all of them will be named your own price. So you can go and support the person behind those creations as well. Not to mention, there are some more games that we actually play. I think I found the kalechips through... Was it Love.exe? Probably. Executable. But there's like games where he made it with some friends apparently. Okay, and some games that are recommended by the person itself. Okay. Anyway, let's end right here. Still, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking it. That's always very appreciated by me. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We are playing a lot of those games. VNs, not VNs. Indie games, not indie games. And so on and so on. So there definitely will be more. There's also Twitch, Twitter, Instagram in the description. If you're into that stuff, you can follow me there as well. Now that I think about it, last weekend there were 2 streams. Eventually the VODs will be on YouTube as well. I was supposed to do one today, but I did not start the rendering at night, so there won't be one tonight. But I am considering going... Actually, no, wait. This is not going on the same day as this one. So I guess yesterday I might have been... Yes, speaking from the future when this video is already up. Yesterday I might have been up on Twitch as well. Anyway, just, you know, if you want to drop by sometime on the stream as well, consider following me on Twitch. With that being said, hope you all have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next game too. Next game that will be coming out tomorrow on the channel. Bye bye.